Guys, are you okay?
As a
Yeah, okay. Let me go through give you guys in 2 minutes whatever we have done till now. Okay. First of all, okay, let me close this. Okay, the shortcut for to open your SQL Server Management Studio, right? You have SQL Server versions of 2000 and 2005, 2008, 2008 R2, 2012, 2012, then 2014, now 2016 beta version is out. Okay, so these are the versions. So if you want to connect to your machine, means like SQL Server, just to go here, go to all programs and connect to this one. What is the check for Microsoft SQL Server 2012? Then check for SQL Server Management Studio in that one, so that it will be connected to your what is that local server. Now it's connecting. So here the server type is like the four types. One is database engine, which would tell us like your relational database management systems, means like all OLTPs. When I say OLTP, this is like online transactional processing databases, means like our day-to-day basis databases which we are using. To connect to that database, you would choose the database engine option. If you are doing any analysis, means like if you are building any cubes, or if you are doing any analysis on top of your what is that relational databases, to connect to that you would choose this analysis services. When I say analysis services, this is like OLAP layer, online analytics, what is that online analytics processing thing, and to do all the reportings, to create all the dashboards, reports, sub reports, drill down, drill through, whatever it is, like charts, graphs, whatever it is. To do all those things, you will have to choose reporting services, that integration services. Integration services is nothing but you will have to integrate the data from more than one source to your destination server. In that case, we would be using all these integration services. Okay, and these are the main services which we covered in this session. And to connect the server name, okay, to connect the server name, there are three ways to connect the server name. One is your host name of the server. How to find the host name is go to your command prompt, just type host name and enter, and you would be seeing your host name. Or just go to your my computer, then right click, then properties. If you see here, your computer name is san-pc. So that similar way you could see your uh, system name also over there or computer name also over there. If you provide that in here, then it would be okay. Or the alternate ways to connect to your local server is like go with local. When I say local, you could type bracket, what is that, brace open, then local, then bracket. Okay, bracket open local, then closed bracket. So if you type that one, then it would be connecting. Or the other way of connecting to your local server is just put dot itself. What dot will do? Dot will also connect to your local machine. Okay, these are the main ways of connecting to your server. And if you come to the next part, there is a tab called authentication. In this authentication tab, if you say, you could see two types of authentications over there, and one is Windows authentication, the second one is SQL Server authentication. What Windows authentication means? Like you are the system admin for this system, and you are the administrator. Means like your account is has been added to administrator accounts for this system. Then you will be using the Windows authentication. Then there is no need of providing username and password to connect to the server. So the other way around is SQL Server authentication. As I mentioned earlier, if you want to connect, means like I'm the guy, I'm having the SQL Server, which is having to some 15 or 16 databases. If I want to connect to all the databases, means like if I want, means like 4 or 5 users are there. If I want to, what is that? restrict the permissions to the particular user level. Means like one person can use only three databases, and one person can use only two databases, and the other person can use for all the databases. So in this case, what I would do, I would create a login and password to each and every user, and I would be giving it to them. And based on the username and password, based on the restriction level, I will create and I will apply all the restrictions to those guys. Okay, these are the main ways. And the third thing is, if you see here options, connection properties, connected to database. By default, it is default. I mentioned over here. By default, if you mention default, then it would connect to your master database if you are having a Windows authentication, or you are the guy, you are using SQL Server authentication, then it would be connecting to the default databases whichever you have provided in the list. Okay. The third thing is like, if you see here, network. Network protocol is like, I am using TCP/IP. When I say all the systems of our means like our day-to-day basis systems will be using TCP/IP protocols, which would require to talk to your network protocol layers. So I would be using default, so it would be the TCP/IP. The network packet size. What is this network packet size means like? So if you are a guy, you are sitting in Australia and the server is sitting in US. So you are connecting to the server remotely by using SQL Server authentication, and you are what is that, executing a query. So that would give you the result of some 5 gig or 6 gig of data. So what it would do in the server level properties, if those guys are setting up any 4 Mbps speed or 10 Mbps speed, that much faster you could get the results. Means like whatever bytes you specify over here, that much faster you would be getting the results over here. And the third one is like the connection properties. If you see the connection tab, and here the connection timeout is there and the execution timeout is there. What is connection timeout? Connection timeout means I am the guy, I am connecting to my local machine, or I am the guy, I am connecting to the any particular server by providing the username and password. So what it will do, it will use the TCP/IP layer, and it would what is that, access the particular server. But for to access this particular server and to come the server online, it would require 15 seconds. That's what we have mentioned over here. So what if it is not connecting within 15 seconds? It would simply throw an error saying that some named pipe connection error, or TCP IP provider is not connected, or your server is offline. That error you will be getting it. And the execution timeout, if by default, if you put 0, then within 0, what is that, it is the maximum limit. It's like your query, if you execute any query, to execute to get the results of the particular query, how much time it would require, that much time it will wait. Otherwise, if you specify 1 second or 2 second or whatever seconds over here, then it would if you are not getting the results within particular of seconds, whatever you mentioned out here, it would execute, what is that, exit saying the execution timeout. So these are the main properties which we have covered till now. So what I'm doing is like, I'm going to connect to my machine. So what I would be using, I would be using my host name. So I'm connecting now. So I've connected to my local machine. So forget about all these things. Security. So whenever you install, right, you will be seeing databases, security, then server objects, then replication, always and high availability, management, integration, server catalogs. Might be you would not see this one until and unless what is that, you will have to install all complete suite of SSTT, SQL Server data tools, or SQL Server bits, means like business intelligence development kit. Okay, that you will have to install that. Then you will be seeing this integrated services catalogs. And the last and most important thing is SQL Server agent. These are the main things. Whenever you install SQL Server, you will be seeing this one. Okay, so shall I go ahead?
Yes, yes.
Okay, now I've expanded, I've clicked on the databases button. See, if you see here, plus symbol is here, and I clicked on, if you see here, and these are my databases, okay, Adventure Works, Config DB, these are my databases. Forget about these. So whenever you install, like brand new installation is done, then you will be seeing system databases option over here. Okay, and if you click here, and these are the four databases which would by default coming with your installation. Okay, are you guys with me?
Yes.
Nice. So to connect to any server, you can, if you see here, connect database engine, analysis services, integration, Azure storage. Forget about Azure storage. It's not required now. So connect. If you connect to Object Explorer, now it will be giving like this. Okay. Or if let us say I want to connect to same machine with this one, connect. Okay. Now I am done. So what I am going to do now is like, okay, for the same server I have connected twice. What I am doing is like, if I want to disconnect this instance, there is a cross red mark symbol over there. If you put your cursor, or if you place cursor on top of this icon, you would be saying, seeing some tooltip called disconnect. Okay, so if you click, so if you see guys, like what is that selected dot means like my local host, and I'm going to disconnect this one. I have disconnected, done. So if I want to refresh, I can refresh, and this is like health policy. This is not required. This is for administration guys. So what I'm going to do now is, okay, my server, why it's not in online. Yep. Okay. So if you see here, there is a green symbol with go ahead, right? That means it is your server is online. Okay. If you see here now, it is white symbol. So what it say? It is offline. When I say it's not connected, it's not able to connect. And while refreshing, right, you would be seeing white. So now if you go here, okay, whenever you do brand new installation of your SQL Server Management Studio, then you would be seeing under databases, you would be seeing all these options. Might not be seeing some of the options because of the other toolkits you will have to install. Okay, to see all these options, the other toolkits you will have to install. So first of all, you will be seeing, anyhow you will be seeing databases, security, server objects, and SQL Server agent. These four options should be there. So now I am going with databases. So whenever you install, see if you see here, right, this symbol is folder and this symbol is your cylinder. This cylinder means it is showing, it is saying it is a database. This folder means it contains more than one database or more than one object. Okay. So if you see here, this is having a folder symbol. So if you click over here, you could see four cylinders over here, means four databases. Okay. Now what I am going to do is like, so let us go with these options. Okay. File, connect object explorer, disconnect object explorer, the same two things which you have here. Okay. And the new means same. If you want to create a new project and the database engine query, analysis queries, all those things you will go with. Or if you want to open any file, you can go here. If it is like SSAS cube or anything, you can go ahead here. Or project of solution, you can go here. And file, you can go. Then these are the file with the new connections not required. And edit, find and replace, navigate to this. While practicing all the police, right, we could say all these options. View, in this view, if you want, what should I cover? Like object explorer, it is already there. Okay. So let us see, when you connect to your machine, Object Explorer is not there. Okay, just go to View, then click on F8 or Object Explorer. There is an option called Object Explorer, or there is a shortcut key called F8. So you would be seeing it. Okay, and the tools profiler is not required now. Windows is not required. Help, yeah, about. If you want to see what is your SQL Server version, okay, you would be going through this one. It's like go to help, then about. Okay, if you see here, SQL Server Management Studio 11.0.2100, which means this is SQL Server 2012. Okay, my operating system is 6.17601. This should be fine. Okay, cool. Now, what I am going to do now is like, first of all, why these databases are coming while with the installation of your SQL Server Management Studio. Okay, there would be some master, means like which who would be guiding us to do all the operations while creating your own databases. Correct?
Okay.
Okay, so that all the actions whichever you perform on your databases means like would be taking care of your master database. Okay, and the model database is like model itself. It is explaining us, saying that, let us say I am going to create one new database. Okay. Inside that new database, if you expand here or if you expand here, you will be seeing all these options, right? All these folders. Okay. You would be seeing all these folders. So what I would suggest you guys, like, why model is required means, so whenever you are going to create a new database, what system engine should do means like how the system engine will understand that what are our objects. Objects means like default objects which it should provide to the new database. So what it would do, it would take a copy of all these objects. When I say copy means like schemas of all these objects, and it would create a new database. So let us say databases. I would explain means like how this model will work. And this MHDB. Why this MHDB is required mainly means, if you see here SQL Server agent over there, right? To manage all these activities whichever we configure inside the SQL Server agent, that would be holding by your MSDB. And there is another services called integration services. Means like, okay, integration service catalogs. To run all these things, we would require MSDB. This part we will be covering in SSIS sessions. Okay, that is the main usage of MHDB. And why TempDB? TempDB means the name itself, it is saying us like it's a temporary database. Means like if you want to, or if you don't want to create a table like permanent table, if you don't want to store the data into your machine, means like you are doing some operation and you would require some amount of data to do some particular operation in your query. So what you would do, you would store those many records into one temporary table, and after your work is done, you would be deleting or dropping that. Okay. To do all these operations, right, there should be some temporary storage area. Okay. That would be providing by the server by using of this TempDB. Okay. These are the main system databases which we would be getting by installing the SQL Server Management Studio. So, do you guys have any questions or any confusions, so that we can provide one more time, or we can repeat one more time?
About the master database.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
If we create our degree, it is nearby master.
Uh, Manikantan, I don't. Your voice is like making a lot of echo is coming. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, Usman, tell me.
Yeah, I want to know about the master database.
Okay,
If we
okay.
create our DB, it is taken care by master.
Yes, all the database integrities.
Using
Okay.
the master,
Uh-huh.
we create database or we create tables with the help of master.
No. We create a database. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. That database all properties, right? When I say
Yeah.
whether your database is like offline or online, whether it is accessible, whether it is inaccessible, or if you are taking a backup, or if you are doing any other what is that, doing any action on that particular database, right? All the
Okay.
background information of your particular databases will be stored in this master. Okay.
Okay.
This is system databases and we will be creating the user defined databases. Okay. So all the informations of your user defined databases will be stored in the master database. Okay.
Okay.
That is the main usage of your master database. So apart from that, any other questions? Rachana?
Uh,
Yeah, Manikanda.
No, sir.
Rachana, do you have any questions?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, do you have any questions regarding these system databases?
Yes.
What is that, Rachana?
Sir, once explain model database.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I would be explaining the model database with an example. Okay, now see,
Hmm.
let us create a new database. Okay, so there are multiple ways of creating a new database. So what I'm doing now is like I am going to databases. Okay, on the databases, I place my cursor over databases. Then right click of your mouse over that mouse. New database option is there, right? If you
Yes.
click on new database, okay, it will open
Hmm.
one what is that window. It will ask all the things.
Yes.
So first thing is like a database name. Means like what is the database name which you are going to give for your database. What is the database? So what I would say like SQL batch one. Okay, SQL batch one. Now if you see here, Warner is default because I placed myself as a Warner. If you want to what is that give any permissions to any other particular user, you could give it everything. By default, it's like system admin. Thus, the what is that the important things which we are going to cover is here. So here, what is that? Whenever you create a database, right? There you will be seeing two files. Okay, one is .mdf file and another one is .ldf file. Okay, why mdf file and why ldf file is required if you create any database. Okay, so MDF means like your actual data file, and LDF means is like your MDF file means I would say primary data file of your database system, and the LDF file is like your all the transactional logs which will be storing inside the log file. Means like why LDF is required means like you are deleting a some number of rows from your machine or from your database. Okay, so what it would do? while deleting the rows, right, it would store the information in a kind of hexadecimal into your log file. Okay. In the meantime, you want to roll back all the transaction. Means like I suppose my manager told me to delete 1,000 records, and in middle of that he came and he asked me to no, don't delete. Okay, he said like that. So what I am doing, like I what is the type the comment saying delete from my table name, where row number one equal to row number between 1 and 1,000. Done. My work is done. It is deleting, and those 1,000 rows gone. Okay. Once the delete performance operation is done, the 1,000 rows gone. But in the meantime, my manager came and he asked me to don't delete. Okay, how I would be getting those rows back? So if I didn't put all those rows or the command, the delete command inside the transaction, so that what I won't be getting back all those rows. Okay, so to get back all the rows and all those things, right? While we are what are that going with the transactions and all those things, we will be covering all this. What that LDF file system thing. So first of all, why LDF is required? Like it's a log. Okay, when it's a log, it would store all the informations, like all the actions which you are performing on the database. Means like all your tables. Okay, that is the thing. And the MDF is like your metadata file. So it would be storing all the data and all the schemas whichever you have created inside the database, particular database. These are the two file systems, sorry, two files which would require to create a database. Okay. If you see here, it's not required. It's actually not required. Okay. There is only one thing is required. It is like full, means like if you see the recovery model, yeah, recovery model I will be covering in the next sessions. File groups. File group is my primary because I am using only rows data, means like only MDF file. Okay. What I am going to do now is I am clicking on OK. Now if you see here, SQL batch 1 is there, right? Okay. Now see, you why model or when model DB will come into the picture means, if you see here, model DB is there, right? All these objects or all these folders, under these folders all these means like subfolders and these uh, system generated views. Okay, system generated views, and what else they can create, programmability, system stored procedures. You see here all the system stored procedures, all the aggregated functions, all those things. Okay, so I have created functions, table value, system. These are our system defined functions. Okay. So whenever we create a database, right? Whenever we create a database, okay. So what it will do? It will create all the objects, means like copy of all the objects which are presented in this model database, and it would be copying, and it would be what is that, it would create a dummy copy into your new database. That is the major usage of your model database. Are you okay, Rachna? Hello, Rachna? Rachna, are you okay with this one?
Still I'm confused, sir.
Okay, okay. Means like where you have stuck, like tell me. or which point I will have to explain, means like, or what is your exact doubt?
What is the purpose of model database, sir?
Yes, that's what I'm telling you, right? See, I have created a SQL batch one, right? So I have given
Yes.
only name, correct? Whenever
Yes,
I
sir.
created that, these folders by defaultly created along with my database, correct?
Yes.
Correct. So these folders,
Yes,
right?
sir.
And these folders and inside these folders, all the no, inside these folders, all these system tables and all those things, right? If you see
Yes.
here, programmability, stored procedure, system stored procedure. So all these objects, okay, all these objects by defaultly, how it would create. Okay, there should be some copy, right? Some copy or some
Yes.
system, it would tell us, like if you are going to create a new database, then by defaultly I would be providing all the objects to you along with your database, correct? So
Yes.
the major purpose of model DB is that one only. So whenever you create a database, like all these folders, inside all these folders, all the objects will be created. All these objects will be created, means like all these what are these copies of these things will be created here. Okay, and that is the major usage of your model DB. If you have still confusion, just tell me.
Okay, sir.
You got my point, right?
Okay. Yes.
So, Manikanta, Osman, do you guys have any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay. So what we have done till now is like we have gone through the system databases and we have created a new database. Okay. And now,
When we
uh,
create a database,
uh-huh,
the
uh-huh.
model helps to define a structure of the new database.
You could say like that, means like not actual structure. The system objects means like default objects will be providing by the model database to your new database. Means like when you create a new database, all the system defined default objects would be copied from the model database. That is the major purpose. Okay.
Okay.
Model means like it is a model. That's it. So by looking it into that model, our database will be created. So the system default objects will be dumped from model to our what that new database. These are the main things. Okay. So now we have created a new database. So there are alternate ways also to create a new database. Uh, Let us go with one way. So to write a query, right? Master is there. There is a new query option is there, right? If you see on top of this, or you can press Control N. Okay. Okay. Now, if you remember my connection inside my connection properties, default database connection is means like to connect default database is like if you see here there is a connect to database is like default. Okay. So I am admin for this machine and when I connect a create a new query or connect to new query window, then you would be seeing master database over here. This is the default database for me. Okay. Now what I
Okay.
am now what I am going to do is like I am going to create a new database. Okay. So see now in our terms itself like create new database. Right? We got three words. Correct. So this is
Yes.
simple English only. So to create what I am going to create database. What should be the name? Just give the name. SQL batch 2. Okay. So see here in our terms itself create I'm going to create a new database. So what would be the syntax? Create a database name. Okay. This is the very simple and easiest way of creating a database without providing any files. Means like any files are where the where your MDF file or LDF file is going to store and all those things, right? We are not providing anything. We are telling the SQL Server engine saying that, see boss, create a new database with this name by taking all the default values which will be provided by your master database, and by taking all the what is that, your default objects which would be provided by your model database. So if you press F5 over here, right, so what it would say, command success completed successfully. Now you are not seeing the SQL batch 2 is not there, right? Now click on databases, click on refresh. Now you would be seeing that one, SQL batch 2 over here, correct?
Yes.
Okay, under this, the system defined objects. Again, these will be copied from your model database, and these are the objects which are copied from model database, and it would be applying to your database also. Okay. So what I am going to do now is, like, I don't want SQL batch to database. Okay. I am going to drop. Means like I want to drop my database. See, now I said like drop database, my database, done, right? So the actual syntax for this is like drop database. Are you able to see my screen, or shall I increase the font size?
No, it's clear.
It's clear,
Yes,
right?
visible.
Okay. 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 Now see, I am trying to execute the same query again. Okay. If you see here, there is an option called red exclamation with an explanation called execute, correct? So if you see here, then I am pressing F5. Now I got an error saying that database with this name is already exists. Okay, employee A with who is having roll number is 1. There should not be any duplicate, right? I am the guy who is having 1, correct? There should not be any other guy who should not have roll number 1 as his uh, roll number in that particular class, correct? In the same class, I could say. Huh? So so what we are going to do is, like, I am going to create another database with the same name which is already existed in my server. Okay, so I would be seeing this error. Okay, if you see here, okay, there is a message followed by message number and the level and the state, the line. Okay, what are these things? Means like if you see here, message 1801. Okay, 1801 is particularly related to your database creation issues. Okay, see, you receive a database name is already existed, correct? That's why you are getting an error code 1801. So why 180? That would be same. So how the what is the level? There will be some 1 to 20 or 1 to 15 levels, I guess. So the level, right? It would be the severity of the level. It would tell us like this is the level 16 error or level 15 error. Based on the levels, you will have to take the appropriate action. And the state, what is the state of your error? Like it is like 1 to 5 or something, I don't remember. So this state also will tell you like what is the severity of your error, and on which line the error has occurred. If you see here, line number 1, the error has occurred. So if you click over here, by defaultly, it would highlight your statement, means like where we got an error, right? By default, it would highlight that statement. So what I am going to do now is drop database. I am going to drop SQL batch 2. Okay, so now I have two statements. I want to execute only single statement, means like my second statement only. Correct. So what I will do? Either way, I can remove the statement and I can execute this, or I can select this statement alone and I can execute this, or the third way of doing is like I can comment, means like here SQL Server we have two types of comments. Okay, one is double hyphen and another one is slash star star slash. Okay, comments, if I am going to put it in the comments. Okay, this is single line comment and this is like multi-line comments. If you see over here, right, single line comment means this is single line comment. When I press enter, this is not a comment. If you see here, right, the text itself, it would change the color. When you put it in the comments, it would show you in the green color of text. And if it is a single line, and if it is normal SQL batch command or SQL command, and it would be saying this like these color or these color. There are some system specific colors which are assigned to the keywords. While going right, we would see that one. Okay, and this is not a comment, means here it's not a comment. When you run this statement, let us say, when you run this statement, see here, if you see here, right, where the error is showing, means like in the line number 3 the error is showing. So this is already skipped by engine, SQL Server engine. Whenever you want to put a comment, but okay, before saying comment, why these comments are required? Okay, to understand, or you wrote a code and the next guy who will come, and if he sees the code, he should understand, right? So that while creating a table, you would put a comment saying that this table is created for this purpose, so that by reading that statement you would understand the following lines, means like the following lines after this comment, right? That is the major purpose of this comment, these comments. So what I will do now is I would be pasting all these comments inside this one. Okay. Now if you see over here, these two lines are comments which is with means like which have been placed inside the, or inside this slash star star slash. Okay, these are the comments. If you execute, done, it's completely executed. So let us say control Z. Okay, let us say here I have two statements and I want to execute. Okay, so I would be commenting, as I said, I would select this statement alone because I want to execute this statement, and I would press F5 or execute button. Or the other way is I would be putting it into comments. Okay, this is comments. So now what I will do, I will execute like this. Done. Now also you are seeing SQL batch 2 over here, right? So you will have to refresh, sorry, databases, refresh, then you won't be able to see SQL batch 2 over here. Okay, these are the parts which we covered in the today's session. Just can you guys like brief about this? Means like how did we create a database and how what is the what are the approaches we follow to create a database? Like quickly in 5 minutes, please. Any one of you guys. From tomorrow onwards, we will be going with the queries. Means like all your select, create tables and all the stuff. We will start with the basic SQL. Then we will be going with the interview point of perspective. Okay. So just tell me all the points which we have covered till now. So, Manikanta, Osman or Rachana. Like, okay, let me tell you guys like this. Okay, Manikanta, you cover 2 points. Osman, you cover 2 points. Rachana, you cover 2 points. You guys have 3 minutes of time now.
We can create database by
Mhm.
using navigation, or we can do it through a query.
Yep. So, okay, that is fine. The other thing is,
So we can create navigation by we can go to the find new database, and we can provide the database database name as well as the owner.
yes,
Yeah. Uh, where also have to define the LDF and MDF.
yeah, it's like system defined files. You know, need not to define those LDF and MDF files will be defaultly defined. Okay.
Okay.
Yep. So the other parts, while creating after creating the database, how would the system default objects will be created? Means like how means like from where all these objects will be copied or all these objects will be mocked up and created into your database.
All these copies will be created in the model
Yep.
database with the name void is created
Yep.
in the like SQL Server 1 or
Okay. Okay. Rachana, then can you quickly go ahead with like what is the main usage of model database and what is the important role which model database is playing while creating the database? Can you please go ahead? Tell me. Hello, Rachana.
Hi, sir.
Yeah. Can you please go ahead and tell us that how model database would be using while creating a database? You got my point, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yep.
Model database means is one of the system database,
Okay.
and defaultly objects will be created.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Whenever you create a database, the default objects will be what that creating into your user-defined database by using the model database. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. Yep. That is the things. And guys, just to go through means like a brief. Today's assignment is like brief about system databases. Okay, and send it to me. Okay, and send it to me and for that our institute email address as well. Okay.
Sir.
Yeah, today's assignment is like
Okay.
you guys have to what is that send me or to institute what are the purpose of system databases and what all are authentications and means like what all are the primary steps which we are going to what is that which we are going to create to write a query, right? What all are the primary steps which we have considered in the today's session? Just write it and send it to us so that we should see in the night and we'll check all those responses from you guys. Okay, because this is very
Okay.
important. Means like if you connect to any database, right? So they won't tell you guys like, man, what is the network packet size and what is the connection timeout issue and all those things. Nobody will tell you guys. So you will have to find whenever you go to any what is that company, and you will have to find all these things. Okay, so that's why I have explained all the things in the first session, first few minutes of today's session. So this is the assignment for today. So yes, of as far as are we good, guys?
Yeah, yeah. Fine.
Okay.
And
Yep.
can we get
Then
the recorded session of this? that if we need
Yeah,
to brush up.
I would be sharing with Prudvi. So he would be sharing with you guys in few
Okay.
minutes. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Okay. Okay. Then. Thank you guys.